Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time for us today. We're going to start with Rube and then go to Brooks.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
Hey, Rob.
Um, hey, they had some drives into the red zone early. They got field goals. I think they had a drive to the 10 to the 15. At the time, it just seemed like they were scoring more, but as it turned out, those stops you got in the red zone and keeping them to field goals were huge. So, two-part question. Number
Yo, what's good, Eagles Nation? Welcome back to Bleed Green TV, the heartbeat of Philly football and the only place on YouTube where we live, breathe, and bleed midnight green for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm your host, Michelle, and today we're diving headfirst into the electric aftermath of our Birds' gritty Week 2 win over the Kansas City Chiefs, keeping us a perfect 2-0 as we gear up for a massive Week 3 showdown against the Los Angeles Rams at the Link. Are we looking at the NFL's next dynasty? Is Jalen Hurts already in the MVP conversation? Strap in, because we're breaking it all down with the passion of a South Philly tailgate. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's fly, Eagles fly. All right, let's set the scene. Last Sunday, Lincoln Financial Field was an absolute zoo. 70,000 fans screaming, cheesesteaks sizzling in the parking lot, and Sweet Caroline echoing through the concourses. Our Eagles clawed out a hard-fought 23-20 win over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, a statement victory that's got the NFL buzzing. But it wasn't pretty, folks. The first half? Oof. Let's just say it felt like we were stuck in I-95 traffic, going nowhere fast. We were backed up, punting left and right, and the offense couldn't flip the field. But here's where it gets real. Our defense, led by Vic Fangio's genius and Jalen Carter's relentless motor, kept us in it by locking down the Chiefs in the red zone. For you new fans, the red zone's that critical area inside the opponent's 20-yard line where defenses got to dig deep to stop touchdowns. And boy, did we. Kansas City marched to our 10, our 15, but we held them to field goals. Coach Nick Sirianni said it best in his presser. Those stops on short fields kept the game close where we could make the surge at the end. That's the Philly grit we love. Let's talk about that surge, because the second half was straight-up Eagles football. Jalen Hurts, our QB1, shook off a shaky first half and went full Rocky Balboa mode, leading a comeback that had the Lynx shaking like it was Super Bowl 52 all over again. Down 17-6 at halftime, Hurts connected with A.J. Brown for a 42-yard bomb. Pure magic, folks. Brown leaped over a Chiefs defender like he was auditioning for a Hollywood stunt. Then, Saquon Barkley, assuming he's still with us in 25, and if not, shout out to Kenneth Gainwell, broke free for a 28-yard run, setting up a Jake Elliott field goal to tie it. But the play of the game? Jalen Carter, that dog on the D-line, blowing up a Chiefs 3rd and 2 in the red zone, forcing a 3rd and 10 they couldn't convert. Sirianni called it havoc up front, and Carter's disruption was the spark we needed. The final drive? Hurts to Devonta Smith for a 15-yard dagger, setting up Elliott's game-winning 48-yarder. Pandemonium at the Link. What's your favorite moment from that game? Drop it in the comments below. Now, let's zoom in on our stars, starting with Jalen Hurts. This man's not just a quarterback, he's Philly's heartbeat. Coming out of Alabama and Oklahoma, Hurts faced doubters who said he couldn't pass like an elite QB. But in 2025, he's silencing them all. Through 2 games, he's rocking a 68.5% completion rate, 512 yards for touchdowns, and just 1 pick. His dual threat ability, passing and rushing, makes him a nightmare for defenses. Sirianni praised Hurts' field vision, saying he sees the field so well, he can tell you what happened without even looking at the picture. That's why there's chatter about Hurts calling plays in the second half. Though Sirianni clarified it was still OC Kevin Patullo's show. Hurts' growth, his bond with Patullo, and his ability to handle adversity, like that first half struggle, are why we're 17-0 in his last 17 starts. Is he your MVP? Let me know in the comments. Then there's A.J. Brown, the wide receiver who's basically Philly's version of Meek Mill, always going all the way up. Brown's 6 feet 1 inch, 226-pound frame makes him a matchup nightmare, and his 10 catches for 142 yards against KC proved it. Sirianni got emotional talking about Brown's maturity, saying AJ handled himself with a lot of class through adversity. That's the dog mentality we love in Philly. fall down, get back up, and make plays. And don't sleep on Devonta Smith, the Slim Reaper. His silky smooth routes and clutch grabs like that game-sealing catch are why he's Hurts' go-to in crunch time. On defense, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are wrecking balls. Carter's strip attempts and Davis's scoop and score potential, even if he didn't need to this time, show why they're on special teams, too. Sirianni shouted out their selflessness. These guys are willing to do whatever to win. That's the Eagles culture, built by legends like Jason Kelce and Brandon Graham. Let's break down the tactics. Nick Sirianni's tush-push, that unstoppable QB sneak where Hurts gets a boost from the O-line, is the NFL's most lethal short yardage play. It's like a Philly cheesesteak. Simple, effective, and nobody does it better. In the Chiefs game, we converted 2 third and ones with it, keeping drives alive. For new fans, a QB sneak is when the quarterback takes the snap and dives forward, usually behind a beefy offensive line. Ours, with Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, is a brick wall. On defense, Vic Fangio's scheme is all about disciplined chaos. His match coverages, where defenders adjust a receiver's routes in real time, suffocated Kansas City in the red zone. Sirianni explained, the space shrinks down there, and our guys do a great job matching routes. That's why we held the Chiefs to 3 points instead of 7 on those early drives. For the nerds out there, our defensive line's havoc rate, sacks, tackles for loss, and forced fumbles, is top 5 in the NFL at 12.3% through week 2 per ESPN stats. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane because this win felt like vintage Eagles magic. Since 1933, this franchise has been Philly's pride from a 1960 NFL championship, when Chuck Bednarik crushed Frank Gifford, to the Philly Special in Super Bowl 52, where Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady for our first ring. And don't forget Super Bowl 59 in 2025, where we hoisted the Lombardi again, cementing Sirianni's legacy. This Chiefs win had that same vibe, gritty, resilient, and all heart. It's why we sing Fly, Eagles Fly with our chests out. Fun fact, did you know the song, originally Sweet Adeline, was adopted in the 60s after fans sang it during a game? Now it's our anthem, and I guarantee it'll be rocking the link against the Rams. Speaking of the Rams, let's preview Week 3. The 1-1 Rams, led by Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, are no joke. They're coming off a loss to the Cardinals, but smoked the Lions in Week 1, so they're hungry. Stafford's a gunslinger, averaging 275 yards per game, and Kupp's route running is surgical. Our secondary, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean, needs to lock in. Fangio's got to dial up some exotic blitzes, where extra defenders rush the QB to disrupt Stafford's rhythm. On offense, we need to attack early, not play not to lose like Hurts mentioned to Pam Oliver postgame. Sirianni pushed back, saying, our guys did everything to scratch and claw. But Hurts' point stands. We can't wait till the second half to unleash A.J. Brown and Saquon. I'm predicting a 27-24 Eagles win, with Hurts tossing 2 TDs and Carter getting a sack. What's your score prediction? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk Philly culture because this team is the city.